Hey there, future nurses, let's talk about chemistry, the science of stuff. And when I say stuff, I mean, matter is anything that takes up space and has weight. Your textbook, the chair you're sitting on, even the air you breathe, it's all matter. Now, matter likes to get around in different forms, or states. You already know the big three: solid, liquid, and gas. Think of ice melting into water, then evaporating into steam. Same matter, different states. Understanding the states of matter is super important in nursing. You'll be dealing with medications in different forms, monitoring patients' fluid levels, and so much more. It's all connected. Okay, so matter is everywhere, but what is it made of? Elements, my friends. Elements are the simplest pure substances, and they can't be broken down further by ordinary chemical reactions. Think of elements like the ingredients in your favorite recipe. You need the right ones in the right amounts to create something delicious. Some common elements found in living things are carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, and sulfur. Remember the acronym CHOMPS. It'll come in handy. Now, let's zoom in even closer. Each element is made up of tiny particles called atoms. Atoms are so small, you need a super powerful microscope to see them. Each atom has a nucleus at its center, containing even tinier particles called protons and neutrons. Protons have a positive charge, while neutrons are neutral, like Switzerland. Whizzing around the nucleus are electrons, which have a negative charge. Understanding atoms is key to understanding how elements interact to form everything around us, from the simplest molecules to the complex machinery of our bodies. Sometimes atoms like to play a little game of give and take with their electrons. When an atom gains or loses electrons, it becomes an ion. Ions have an electrical charge, either positive or negative. Now, these charged particles are super important in our bodies, especially in our nerves and muscles. That's where electrolytes come in. Electrolytes are just ions that can conduct electricity when dissolved in water. Ever wonder why athletes guzzle sports drinks? They're replenishing their electrolytes like sodium, potassium, and calcium, which are lost through sweat. These electrolytes are crucial for maintaining fluid balance, nerve function, and muscle contractions. Pretty important stuff. Section 5. Holding it all together, chemical bonds. Remember those atoms we talked about? Well, they're not just floating around willy-nilly. They like to stick together, and they do this through chemical bonds. Think of chemical bonds as the glue that holds everything together. There are different types of bonds, each with its own strength and properties. Covalent bonds. Sharing is caring. In covalent bonds, atoms share electrons to become more stable. Think of it like two kids sharing a toy. Ionic bonds. Opposites attract. In ionic bonds, one atom donates an electron to another, creating ions with opposite charges that stick together like magnets. Hydrogen bonds. These are weaker bonds that form between molecules with polar covalent bonds like water. They're important for things like holding DNA strands together. Van der Waals forces. These are very weak temporary attractions between molecules. They're like the static cling that makes clothes stick together in the dryer. Understanding chemical bonds helps us understand the structure and function of molecules in living organisms. Pretty important for nurses, right? Section 6. Chemical reactions, a cellular dance. Now that we know how atoms bond together, let's talk about how they interact with each other. Chemical reactions are like a grand dance party in your cells, with molecules constantly breaking apart and forming new partnerships. These reactions are the basis of all life processes, from digestion to respiration to nerve impulses. They involve the breaking and forming of chemical bonds, and they are always happening inside your body. Metabolic pathways are like intricate dance routines, with a series of chemical reactions occurring in a specific sequence to achieve a particular goal, like breaking down food for energy or building new proteins. Pretty amazing, right? Inorganic, the chemistry of life. In the world of chemistry, we often talk about organic and inorganic compounds. Don't let the names fool you. Organic compounds aren't just the ones you find at the grocery store. Organic compounds are the building blocks of life and always contain carbon. They're like the VIPs of the cellular world. Think carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, fats, and nucleic acids, like DNA. Inorganic compounds, on the other hand, usually don't contain carbon and are often simpler in structure. They play important roles too, though. Think water, salts, and minerals. Understanding the difference between organic and inorganic compounds is essential for understanding the chemical processes that occur in living organisms. Section 8, pH, finding the right balance. Let's talk about pH, a measure of how acidic or basic a solution is. The pH scale ranges from 0 to 14, with 7 being neutral. Acids have a pH less than 7 and can taste sour like lemon juice. Bases have a pH greater than 7 and can feel slippery like soap. Maintaining the right pH is crucial for our bodies to function properly. Our blood, for example, needs to stay within a very narrow pH range to carry oxygen effectively. That's where buffers come in. Buffers are like chemical peacekeepers, helping to neutralize acids and bases to maintain a stable pH level. Pretty important job, right? Section 9, water, the elixir of life. You know what's really cool? Water. I know, you hear it all the time, but water is truly amazing stuff. It makes up a large portion of our bodies and is essential for just about every biological process. Water is a polar molecule, which means it has a slightly positive end and a slightly negative end. This allows water molecules to form hydrogen bonds with each other and with other polar molecules. These hydrogen bonds give water some unique properties like high surface tension, think water striders walking on water, high heat capacity, helping to regulate our body temperature, and excellent solvent properties, dissolving substances and transporting them throughout our bodies. Water is the ultimate multitasker and a key player in keeping us alive and kicking. Section 10. The molecules of life: carbs, proteins, fats, and DNA. Alright, future nurses, let's talk about the molecules that make life possible. Carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, and nucleic acids. These organic compounds are like the tools, building blocks, and blueprints of our cells. Carbohydrates, our primary source of energy. Think sugars and starches. They provide the fuel our cells need to function. Proteins, the workhorses of the cell. They do everything from building and repairing tissues to transporting molecules to fighting infections. Lipids, fats, long-term energy storage, insulation, and protection for our organs. They also play a role in hormone production. Nucleic acids, DNA and RNA. The blueprints of life. They carry genetic information and direct the synthesis of proteins. Understanding the structure and function of these macromolecules is essential for understanding how our bodies work at the molecular level. So there you have it, a whirlwind tour of the chemistry of life. Keep asking questions, keep exploring, and keep on learning. You've got this, future nurses.